How you guys doing? Let's do an audio check real quick. Let me know how this is. Let me know how my audio is, how clear I am. I changed things up a little bit just for today, so I don't have this microphone all in my face. Awesome. Thank you. Excellent.
You're echoing.
I'm echoing?
Yeah.
That's not good. Everybody says it sounds good. Audio's good. We hear you all good. Excellent. I'll get an audio engineer in here later on this afternoon. Fix this little problem. This is all too much for me. This is what I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be speaking in, but I don't believe it's working right now. So, all right. Jeff H., you said the mic was good? Is there a difference in my audio from when I'm speaking like this and when I'm speaking into this? Are you telling me that my microphone is working right now? So this microphone is working. Okay, that's a lot of yeses. Well, I'll just go and continue to use it then. I thought I set everything up right. I went through all the little protocols I have written down. Good. I sound a whole 100% better. Excellent. That's what I like to hear. Excellent. I was going to play my other intro. You guys know what intro that is. The 3-minute long one that shows all the ancient books and all the old books and ancient monuments, the one with the dramatic music. Yeah. Apparently, I don't have that file. Somebody else does. I've got to get my own copy. Awesome. The mic works. Good. Sorry about being blurry, guys. The studio is on one of those Wi-Fi relays because it's kind of far away from the modem, and have some internet guys coming out here later today or tomorrow to fix this problem. So, hey, it happens when you initiate something new. Funny how, just in the news, it's funny how people like William Cooper come out with the book Behold a Pale Horse, which I have right here. They come out with Behold a Pale Horse. Fascinating book, all about UFO, alien disclosure. Actually, this book is what educated us to the word psyop. Many people did not know what a psyop was until William Cooper explained. And it's very interesting that these things that were so alien to us, when these underground bases, government projects, all this misinformation. Listen, guys, William Cooper nailed it. He wasn't the only one. This book is not a popular book. It is not a popular book because many people who are involved with publishing this book have gotten into a lot of trouble. Yeah, silent weapons for quiet wars. We'll be discussing some of these things in Archaics.tv, not on YouTube. But these are it's just, it boggles the mind. Here's William Corliss, The Unexplained Source Book. Guys, everything that we've been saying in the alternative history, in alternative knowledge movement since the 60s and 70s, go back to Keel and so many researchers back then. It's amazing. And all of a sudden, Washington wants to do a press conference. All of a sudden, the Pentagon wants to release news like it's just new. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, extraterrestrials. And we know it's a psyop. We know it's not true. We know that that all these technologies are pre-existing and that we have developed. And we know that everything is coming from the underworld, and all the misinformation is to make you believe that everything that they are doing is going to be blamed on extraterrestrial presence. Therefore, there's no culpability. They don't have to answer to anyone, because the blame for whatever moves they make moving forward can always now be blamed. It's plausible deniability. Everything can be blamed on an extraterrestrial species. Everything can be blamed on some ancient alien technologies that were left here on Earth. Everything can be blamed on something that is non-human. This is and therefore there's nothing to investigate. But it's interesting how the media was basically at war with anyone who would even just say that, you know, these human abduction phenomenons are extraterrestrials abducting people. So when the official narrative is not in agreement with what people are finding, the media always promotes the opposite. The media promotes for years and years and decades, man. You guys are nuts. There's no ETs, there's no aliens, none of this ever happened. This is all theory. This is all speculation. This is adult fantasy. But when the controllers need the collective to believe in something, they just change the narrative. Oh yeah, well, you know what? ETs are real. Oh yeah, we do have UFO aircraft. Oh yeah, the official Pentagon spokesman is allowed to now talk about these things openly, even though it's all bullshit. It's all BS. There are no extraterrestrials coming and going. None of that's real. The sky is simulated, and they're going to do everything they can to make sure that the collective continues to believe that. Believe that the sky is travelable, that you can actually leave and you can go places. We are in a closed system. Yeah, guys. Let me offer you an analogy. It's an interesting one. But if the material physical world is truly moving at 63,000 miles per hour around a star, then so is the spirit world. The spirit world has to be keeping perfect time with the material universe. They can't be detached. There can be no separation between spirit and matter. It would be impossible. Because when people see phantasms and ghosts and poltergeists, when people see the departed spirits of loved ones, disembodied spirits, they don't see a ghost traveling at 63,000 miles an hour. They don't see paranormal phenomena. They don't experience these things that are considered supernatural. They don't see these as fleeting events that just flash by. 63,000 miles. There's a ghost gone. 63,000 miles an hour. Therefore, I must conclude that either A, the spirit world also moves at 63,000 miles per hour to keep up with the physical world so people in the physical world can experience that stuff. Or B, we're not moving at all. Never have. Interesting books. We got some things to talk about. One of my favorite authors. This will be on YouTube. We're going to go deep on the John Keel. This right here is William Cordes material. It's fascinating. You're not going to believe some of the things in the William Cordes material. It's resplendent with illustrations of all the weird things that have been found. I don't really have time to sit here and show. There's hundreds of visuals in this book, but one thing that just really, really shot out at me is some Charles Fort type phenomena that's just blowing my mind. Oh yeah, it rained fossils one time. Yeah, petrified. I mean, they were very old too. Rocks that fell out the sky. Here's a fossilized turtle embedded into rock. But well, that wasn't the funny thing. The real weird thing, I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in this book. A hailstorm. Ordinary rock, but it's a hailstorm. It's particularly bad. But when the rocks that fell from the sky were examined, they all looked like Saturn. They all looked like a sphere with a ring around it. How does that happen? So anyway, yeah, we're gonna get to it. We got a lot of things to discuss in those veins. This video isn't really for that. I'm just announcing what's going on. You guys know I like to build up a little bit of anticipation and try to get more people in the feed before I really begin my presentations. So I'm glad the mic sounds a whole lot better. That's good. Let's see. And yeah, I didn't slow the chat down today, so you guys you're free to engage. I've been really busy lately, guys. I have um I to answer the question that's on the screen right now, when will Archaics TV be up and running? It will be up and running today. Right now in Texas, it is 11:15. This will be a 2-hour presentation. Within 3 or 4 hours after that, Archaics.tv will be up and running for those who want to go a little deeper on some things that we can't talk about on YouTube. Um, and in exchange, in exchange for the support for those who go to Archaics.tv, there's going to be free PDFs. Well, they're not free. You are subscribing. It's like $5, but it's there will be free PDFs, and there's also a little thing on there where I'll be doing posts. These are posts that cannot be done on YouTube. I will continue to do posts on YouTube. I will continue to do videos on YouTube, but for things that are a little racy, that will only be on Archaics.tv. And some of them there'll be some overlap on my website as well. That's getting overhauled very soon. But let's see. Yeah, if you got a blur, my screen on StreamYard is absolutely crystal clear, but I'm only seeing what my camera's showing. If you guys are seeing a blur, it's probably on my end. Well, I have Wi-Fi text coming out either today or tomorrow. I can't remember, but they're going to hardwire the Wi-Fi into the studio because the actual modem's pretty far away, and I'm using a relay. And yeah, had to do a little house cleaning this morning. Some people got triggered over the t-shirt I was wearing when I advertised this video. Listen, that's a cartoon, guys. Comet Pizza is a cartoon. And for those of you who took it to another level, talking about Pizzagate and all that, and then talking about my criminal offenses when I was 17 years old, and then inferring that my criminal offenses had anything to do with children, I blocked all 4 of you. Don't ask to come back. You guys already know, especially you Archaix veterans know, I've got zero tolerance. It says you're going to conduct yourselves as adults in my chat, and any inferences or any negativity whatsoever is not tolerated here. I got some really good moderators that pointed this out to me, and yeah, I looked at it, reviewed it, and I agreed. All 4 of you had to go. Real nice, sophisticated. The chat is monitored in Archaix so well that the trolls have had to become more and more sophisticated. So they throw inferences out there, acting as if they're Archaic supporters, but they're really here to stir up shit. So they've been dealt with. They're not coming back. If they do, it'll be another email, and all they got to do is just rear up one time, and they'll be eliminated too. No problem doing it. Let's see here. So, I do have a list together. There are a few people I have in mind that have been in Archaix for a very long period of time, since way before I blew up, who have been supporting through sharing and channels like you guys will be getting free subscriptions to the Archaics.tv. Believe me, I'm not leaving you behind. Let's see. Nemesis Bex. That's a great handle. I'm gonna go ahead and just post that. Meryl Gigi. Hello, Meryl. I need to send you an email today, give you a progress report, because things are starting to look good. Thank you guys for my moderators. When I'm in StreamYard, I do not see what you do. I see the chat, so I'm able to post it on the screen. I am not able to see the blue wrenches. I'm not able to see any details in the chat other than what people say and what their handle is. The StreamYard is very easy to use. Martin educated me on this. And speaking of Martin, I spent a month with that beautiful soul. He was very emotional when it was time to go. He'll be back. But he and Cheryl went somewhere else, and that's all good. But yeah, It's very interesting. So while Max Egan coming here was totally unexpected, because, well, actually, first of all, you guys already know I had no idea that Martin was coming. It was just Cheryl Bailey had organized the first meetup for Archaix April 1st. After that, come to find out that she wanted me to do like a podcast with Martin, and I did. And I had no idea that while I was doing the podcast, she popped her head in. She was in Wales with Martin. I was like, "What's going on here?" And she says, "Martin is my boyfriend." I'm like, "You could have told me that, before." But I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't know that there was any connection there. But Cheryl did a really good job, and not only that, but she organized the first meetup and totally refused all the money. Both Matt and I tried to offer her money for putting the meetup together, and she just refused it and didn't want it. Then introduced me to Martin. We did a podcast together, then turned around and Martin came to Texas. She and Martin got him a visa, and he's been having a blast traveling, going to Dallas, Fort Worth, and all over. I've been taking him all over in the van. We even did a van vlog together, and yeah, we've had a blast. A couple videos with Martin hot mic'd are on our Archaics.tv, and just had a blast. But Martin has been wanting to meet Max for over a decade, and they have a lot of history, online history. They have a lot of background together. They've been communicating together for years, and it was a really big deal. So we contacted Max. In he lives in Mexico. He said, "Hey man, check this out. Got a place for you up here." And we just gave him all the details and all that. And things. His schedule was conflicting and different. And then at the last minute, he just said, "Hey, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna fly into Houston." So we picked him up at the airport, and he stayed for a couple days. But he had some business elsewhere. He had to fly to another state a few days ago. So he and Martin have been gone. But here in about 10 or 15 minutes, Big John's going to be picking Max up from the airport. So he'll be coming back here for a few more days. We'll have some interesting discussions. I got Max on a hot mic also for Archaics.tv. Things are nice. Things are going well. Okay, we got over 1,000 people in the chat. And that's always a good thing. Frederick Nietzsche said, when a matter becomes clear, it ceases to concern us. By the end of this video, you're going to understand what he meant. By the end of this video, it's going to crystallize within your understanding of just how valuable it is that your attitude matches your actions, because it's the key to doing everything that you have seen me do in my own personal life. And for any of you new people to Archaix that don't know these accomplishments and these things that I've done in my life, you need to go back to my original first videos when I was doing them absolutely broke, living in a wooden shack, and telling the world basically what I was going to do with my life and how I was going to do it. And I am that person today that I predicted 2.5 years ago. So, like I said, I lead by example, but it's also time for others to come forward as well. It's time for a collective body politic of, no, I'm not truthers. I really don't even like the word truthers, but awakened individuals. I mean, many people are awake, but very few people do something with that awareness, and it's creative. The very fact of knowing something gives you power over it. Knowledge is creative, and we have to use this. We have to utilize this inner power, because remember, there's nothing external of us that matters. Nothing. Attitude has everything to do with outcomes. As long as you are physically moving in the direction of where you want to go, has everything to do with it. Attitude is absolutely creative, because we are being observed every nanosecond of our existence. Something is watching us. It is predicting all. It's using protocols and subroutines and programming. It is doing everything it can to predict our behavior, so it can build for us the reality tunnels that we may travel. Some of those reality tunnels We never even enter, therefore they just collapse back into the mathematical programming. But the echo of their existence is there, and we find evidence of these sometimes. It is the same thing for historical routines, whole timelines that have been edited out of existence. There are still programming fossils of those narratives that can be found, and it always leaves evidence of past activities. What it does for historical routines, it also does for the individual in the individual's reality tunnel. The construct never stops building for you, but what it builds is directly in proportion to your attitude and what you're physically doing with your avatar. So we're going to discuss those things in this video, because when a matter becomes clear, it ceases to concern us. This is where you need to be. You need to understand what Friedrich Nietzsche was talking about, because once you fully understand, the matter becomes clear. Once you reach that spiritual threshold of it ceases to concern us, once what I'm going to reveal to you in this video ceases to concern you, that's when you're going to be able to do great things, because the construct will no longer have any power over you. Dungeon programming, negative default programming, none of these things will ever rise up against the individual who is awakened to what attitude truly is, how it forges our reality. Remember, guys, I've told you several times that there is, thank you, that there is a very definitive power in the not giving a F attitude. I promise you. Because when you employ it, it creates this programmed armor around you. It is programmed to be invincible against anything that seeks to do you harm, anything that seeks to impede your progress. This attitude is real because it is spiritual, and there is no way that you can even maintain such an attitude unless you are spiritually empowered to do it. Because an attitude of not giving a F about opposition and not giving a care or a doubt about all the things that come against you in your daily life, and just pressing through it, moving forward, having a positive attitude. This attitude of basically objectivity, this attitude of I'm the shit and there's nothing that can oppose me. This attitude can only be elicited by somebody who has become so spiritually awakened that they realize that the only thing real in their world is themselves, and everything else dissolves into programming. But it's programmed templates that are self-created, and anything that has been created by you in the past can be undone by you in the present. When a matter becomes clear, it ceases to concern us. These are the things we're going to discuss. Let me look at this chat feed real quick. What's going on? Somebody said my shirt's missing an eye. I can't, never could. Can't, never could. I don't know. The message is still out there. I don't know. Not sure. Shiva Shampoo, how you doing? Always here. Always here. What we got? 1,100. We're approaching 1,200. That's always good. People need to hear this message. Yeah, I see the StreamYard Wi-Fi. It is pretty low. So I'm sorry about the blurriness, guys. It's just the way it's going to be. Hopefully when YouTube processes this, it's going to be a higher definition. So the two dozen drives ended up being close to 100, and that right there, it's awesome. It allows me to pay my help with Archaix more money, but it shows me that there are people who find value in what I'm providing. Listen, it is no small achievement what Martin and I did when we put all this together. Yeah, 7,147 relevant old books, not just any books taken off the library. all kinds of magnificent text with fantastic illustrations and old photos. Yeah, we put this together. You guys, I've been telling you guys it takes 2 hours to make a copy, but it's not really true. It really takes closer to 3 hours. Yeah, just to make a copy. It's just to make one copy onto another, and I use 3.1 USBs. This is the fastest processing power a USB can have. It's 3.1. I don't. It's crazy because all these are 3.1s that I'm providing, and they're I can't imagine what a 2.0 is. That's the old system. Those are the old USBs. People still use them. They still sell them. But the 2.0s would probably take closer to 4.5, 5 hours. But it takes a long time to make a copy. So we're making 3 copies at a time using 3 different devices. And when you try to make a whole bunch of them at the same time, it just shuts down the computer processing. It just really does one fast and the other one slow. So um, yeah, I'm really glad that you guys have found value in that, and I'm glad that this is being distributed all around the world. And for some of you critics talking about, well, if there's going to be an EMP, it's not going to be any good anyway. That's your own damn fault. That's not my problem. That's your fault. I have steel briefcases. I have Faraday cages, Faraday bags. I have demonstrated them on YouTube. I can put my cell phone. This cell phone, I can put my cell phone right here in a Faraday bag, one of my small bags or my big bags, and you can call my number and you're not going to hear my phone. The reason you're not going to hear my phone is because the signal will not go through the Faraday bags. We have tested these. These Faraday bags that are sold on Amazon are the real deal. Signals, Wi-Fi, nothing goes through this Faraday bag, and they're very inexpensive. They're very cheap. I think I paid $25 for each Faraday bag I have. I have one for each laptop, and I have a small one for all my thumb drives that have all my data for Archaix. I'm ready. My big Faraday bag is for my extra laptop. I have an extra laptop that stays in the Faraday bag most of the time. Sometimes I'm pulling it out, adding stuff to it, but stays in the Faraday bag with some thumb drives that have. I've got half a terabyte drives that have all my stuff, and I have one backup terabyte drive that I keep at a different location. And about once every 2 or 3 weeks, I go to that location and I pull all my stuff out, and I all my new materials are uploaded to that terabyte drive. I'm about to have to get another terabyte drive. So, yeah, it's very easy. What if there's an EMP? I got a generator that's got fold out cloth solar panels. That's fantastic. I can run my laptop and all my little devices for years, just using the sun, even on a cloudy day. Yeah. Guys, you just got to think all the technology is readily available to us now. They have really amazing generators now that are crank. Yeah, it's small, heavy little they're heavy and they're metal, but they're crank. You just crank it up. Doesn't need solar, doesn't need wind turbines, doesn't need anything. Crank is friction. Just crank it up. And you can power your laptops and all your devices. And if you've got 7,147 books on a drive, then that's easy. You can make copies. You can go through the drive and see the books you want. There's no way any of you will ever read 7,000 books in your lifetime. It's not going to happen. Not these books. Remember, my education is mainly from 1,300 books that I read, nonfiction books that I read when I was in prison. It took over 20 years to do that. Yeah, do the math, guys. Some of these nonfiction reference books are huge. You're not going to read that in 4 or 5 days. You're not even going to read that in a week, especially when you're data mining like I was. Data mining takes a lot of time because you're not just reading, you're also writing down everything that you think is pertinent that goes in your files. So yeah, guys, well, Big John's making a lot more of those copies of those drives, and we have changed our mailing system up. I didn't like the old mailing system, so we went ahead and invested in the U.S. Post Service's little machine that they have that automatically prints out. We have to weigh each package, and it automatically prints the labels out. It's so much more efficient. It's so much more faster, and we can just take the packages straight. Even the internationals are now fast. We just print them out. Print out the international mailing coupons and the labels. We don't have to fill out all that paperwork anymore, and we just take it to the deal. So that whole system I didn't realize was available, but it cost money. But the money from the drives paid for that system. So yeah, that's I'm pretty excited about that. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Oh, Lynn's been here since I had 3,000. Remember, I used to get in the chat just like this, talking just like this, even when I only had 40 people engaging in my chat. Used to do it all the time. I didn't have a problem with it. I'm very familiar with Douglas Vogt. He's featured in some of my videos. Excuse me. Man. Hey, Grindle Dark, I got your shirt. I'll be wearing it during the video. Also took one of your songs. It had a mellow kind of beat to it. I really like it. I'm going to be using it in an Archaix video on YouTube. So whatever links you want me to put in the description box, email those to me so I can put them in there. Yeah, Grindle Dark's a musician. He's got his own CD. It's pretty. One of his songs just really hit me. It's like, wow, okay, instrumental. It's not. There's no words or anything like that. I don't believe there was. Not in this one. Yeah, so Max will be here right as I'm finishing this podcast. Big John should be bringing him from airport. We're definitely gonna do another Archaics.tv hot mic. Just so you know, guys, right now Archaics.tv it's gonna be live today, starting with 16 videos. Danny of the Unfuckers group in the UK has her own section, and she talks about things that in the alternative healing, homeopathic healing, herb lore. She collects old books on all this type of material. Can't put this stuff on YouTube, so it's going on. She has her own section, Archaics.tv. And of course, we got Hot Mike, and we got a section called Mysterium. And for those of you who remember me mentioning Micah Dank, I uploaded his video to it last night. It's an hour and 45 minutes. I'm not really into astrotheology, but I do find value in what he's talking about. I disagree with some points, but it's no big deal. I'm going to let people watch it for themselves. On Archaics.tv has a comment section underneath it's like YouTube. Underneath every video, we can get dialogue started. We can talk about these things. If this is a guy that you guys want to see on YouTube, then you'll have to tell me on Archaics.tv. And he is a uniformitarian, and he believes in the standard astronomy, Newtonian physics model, and that doesn't make him a bad fellow. But when it comes to archaeoastronomy, yeah, you guys already know my position. I've got too much data. I have revealed too much. There's no way the sky is real. The sky is a simulated construct. It is there to deceive us into believing that the world is a much bigger cosmos than the actual small construct that we find ourselves in. So anyway, having said all that, let me get down here and see. Oh, there's my buddy Maurice. Maurice came down here too from Florida. What happened to Maurice? There he is. Maurice came down here from Florida while both Martin and Max Egan were here. So yeah, we had a blast. We're just all talking, kicking it, real relaxed atmosphere. You already know Max can get real relaxed. So hell, Martin too, for that matter. So yeah, guys, it's we're gonna have some more fun. We're not gonna change anything up. Let's see. I seen Wendy Flores in here somewhere. There she is. Friedrich Nietzsche, German philosopher, over a century ago, well over a century ago. I believe Beyond Good and Evil, from which I believe that's where the quote comes from. I have so many notes from Nietzsche's works. This isn't the library where I keep my Nietzsche books. These are all older. Oh, I do have a Nietzsche book in here from the 1800s, like 1897 or something. There's no way I'm going to be able to find it. This has yet to be organized because there are books you don't see stacked up. And then there's many of these books like History of the World Rid Path. This was donated. This is volume 10. It's one I did not have, but I have the rest of the Rid Path books back here. Got the whole deal. This is the one I was missing and somebody donated it. Yes, I want to thank Dawn Anderson as well. Just recently received a package from her. And again, Jay Hart. Dawn sent some very, very interesting books as well. She always does. I don't know where she finds all these things, but Dawn also sent those cigarette pack cards. You got that video coming real soon. Very interesting cigarette pack. These are what cigarette packs had in the 1920s and 30s. I'm going to start with the one in the 1920s, which is about all the archaeological mysteries of the ancient world. It's a 50 card. It's amazing. It's amazing the data they packed on that little card. And these were collector's items. It required you to buy 50 packs to get all the cards. If you could get them all like that. All right. Got me a new dehumidifier right here. I haven't opened the box yet, but it's gonna be set up today. It's just for this room. You guys can't see it, but the bookshelves go all from way over here. You can't see it from way over here. Wrap around me. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 4. There are 4 shelves of old books, and they all date. One of them's from the 1700s, but all the rest of them are. I got a lot of them 1801 to 1810, and then everything after that. But you can't see it, but the shelves end way over here. I'll get a better camera angle so you can see all those shelves as well. They come all the way here, but I lied. I got all these books down here too. All these are modern books though. Books for YouTube presentations. I still have my original studio. I still have my small studio. I'm not giving that up. Yeah, I'm not giving that up at all. So, all right, let's see here. Small studio has over 100 books, but they're smaller books like the Moo, the church word books, the small Moo books and stuff that I'm doing videos out of because they're packed full of data. That's my Book Monkey studio. That's where we're not done with Book Monkey. I got 100 and something Book Monkey presentations to get through because that's how many books are there. Each one of those books is a YouTube video. I told you guys, and I'm never going to not tell you. I still have 500 videos left in me. Let's see. Yeah, Victoria, I kind of agree. Martin was really blown away when we got in the van and just drove around. We drove around for about 4 hours one day, and we just saw all different parts of Texas. I took him on a huge loop way out in the country across Lake Livingston, all the way around Montgomery County, Harris County, brought him all the way back. He was like, wow. I said, yeah, man. If I showed you a map, it was just a small, tiny circle of Texas that we just traveled. Yeah, it's amazing. So the meetup was great. It was more people than were anticipated. Actually, I didn't have anything to do with that meetup. The first meetup was all about Archaix and introducing me to the community and all that, and me getting to know the people that traveled to the meetup. The second meetup was about Martin. I know I hosted it and all that, but it was really about Martin, and it was about Martin to take care of his Texas expenses, take care of the airfare here, take care of the airfare back, to do all the things he needed to do, because that was really just about Martin. I didn't have much to do with it other than being on stage and speaking and doing. It really wasn't so much. It was an Archaics meetup, but it was done in honor of Martin, and basically to make sure his whole stay here was a memorable one, and that when he returns back to Cardiff, he returns back not only having not spent any of his own money, but having actually returned home with some profit, because he deserves that. And Max was our guest. And some qualified idiot gets on social media and starts talking about, I had several moderators tell me on Facebook, starts talking about Jason only invited Max in because he wants to get canceled off of YouTube so he can switch all everybody over to Archaics.tv and make money. Absolute morons, but that's all right. I'm not going anywhere. YouTube's not canceling my channel. They make a lot of money off my channel. You don't even know. Super chats and memberships and super stickers. Yeah, advertising. Yeah, you don't just throw away channels just because you disagree with their content. There are a lot of reasons why channels get X'd out. Yeah, you can talk about the wrong content, but there's all kinds of different reasons. And if you don't think YouTube, which is owned by Google, doesn't have a very close relationship with the IRS, you got another thing coming. Hell yeah. All the paperwork I had to fill out to monetize my channel, I realized real quick how close that relationship was. Oh yeah. A lot of these so-called truther channels out there disappearing. If you do a little homework, you'll find out exactly why they were kicked off the channel. You got to, hey, when in Rome, you know what I mean? You got to render unto Caesar that which is Caesar's, and unto God that which is God's. You got to, if you're going to play the game, you have to play by their rules. Let's see here. I'm going to wait till the interest is, I'm just answering the question here. I'm going to wait till the interest in the super drive, this 7,147 old books. I'm going to wait till that wanes before I bring the thumb drives back. Now that we have a new mailing system, it's going to be so much easier to mail these I got the super packs and the survival packs. Remember, they're all, the survival pack is the one that has all the old images, the old photography, all that stuff, and all my charts and everything. Those are in the super pack. All my books, my 200 articles, everything that's ever been published in Archaics on Facebook, all the posts, all the articles, everything's in that super pack. All my personal research, everything, research findings, Chronicon notes, over 20 books that I've written. Everything's in the super pack. The survival pack is all the YouTube imagery and YouTube PDFs and all the stuff that have been used in the videos. That's the difference between those two packs. And those are very popular. But then I kept saying I didn't want to sell them anymore because it's just too much hassle doing the mailing and filling out international mailing forms and all that. But we're taking care of that now. So when a matter becomes clear, it ceases to concern us. You guys know I've often said that if the end is already secure, then all the steps leading to it are secure as well. But the problem lies in the individual, not in the construct. Because if the end is truly secure, then the individual knows that because of attitude. The actual life, how someone lives their life on a day-to-day basis, is very measurable in their attitude. Their attitude will reflect what's going on inside them, and what's going on inside them will always have outward expression. And whatever forms that outward expression takes, your physical avatar will do things that will commiserate with the thoughts that are going on internally. This is how the construct reads the individual. It does not matter what you think. It does not matter what you feel. It does not matter what you daydream, what you fantasize. There are millions of people who lay their head down at night and fantasize about things before they go to sleep, and it has absolutely no effect on their personal reality whatsoever. None, because they don't act on it. And they have recognized that it is just fantasy, or they fall in the trap that they actually believe that these are things that are unattainable to them. So they've become comfortable with the fantasy. Daydreaming does not modify reality because it's not acted on. This is where attitude comes in. If you have the attitude of faith, of basically You're vacuous, empty of faith. You have no true belief that you're a co-creator and that you can modify reality by your actions and attitude. Then it's going to be reflected in your attitude, and you're going to be miserable. You're going to be fearful. You're going to vibrate on the frequency of the collective. Instead of being a broadcaster, you're going to be the only other thing you can be, which is a receiver. There's only two modes of activity here. You're either going to receive as a way of reality, as your personal walk through the construct. You're either going to be a sponge and absorb the collective programming and be shoved into a niche, a dungeon protocol. You're either going to find some polarity that resonates with your negative base vibration, and you're going to, yeah, you know what, that sounds really good. I think, you know what, that's right. You know what, I think if socialism truly worked the way it's designed to work, it would be a good thing. And only the Democrats are really pushing that. So I think I'm going to vote Democrat this time. You have accepted a paradigm, and now the construct is going to commiserate. It is going to begin building phenomena in your reality tunnel that basically justifies the very belief that you have adopted. It's going to saturate you with people, circumstances, and even places where you will find more confirmation that you're right. Socialism is the answer, and Democrats are the only one pushing it. You will begin to see that you're correct. And this is how it ensnares you into a dungeon protocol. Dungeon programming is very real. I am guilty of falling into those traps. You're guilty of falling into those traps. We all are, because breaking free is not something that you do. Breaking free is something that you are. Breaking free is an attitude. It is not an accomplishment. Every single day of our existence, we have to fight this fight. And the greatest utility to the divine immortal passing through this construct is to realize that they shouldn't give an F about any opposition, because any thought to opposition automatically makes the construct appear opposition in your life. Any belief that resistance is possible automatically knits some modicum of resistance into your present. Any thought that there are those out there who could stop you from accomplishing the things that you want, NPCs and real individuals controlled by dungeon protocols will then, you'll start finding these people in your way, stopping you from doing the things you want, closing doors instead of opening ways for you to move forward. We are the writers of our own existence here. But dungeon protocols are always convincing us that external stimuli are to be blamed. Because if the divine immortal can get put into a feedback loop where it can start blaming external stimuli for the reasons why it itself can't move forward and do the things that it wants to do and experience the things that it wants to experience, that in itself becomes a dungeon protocol. The feedback loop is enforced by the individual pointing out more things that pop up in his existence that thwart him from becoming what he wants to become. And more people will surface in that individual's life to provide distractions. And the construct knows you better than you know yourself, because you live by agency of a temporal memory where you can't remember your entire past, even right here. You can't all at once. You just know enough about yourself to get through for the day, for the present. But the construct knows every outcome of every decision you have ever made. Therefore, its ability for predictive programming over the dictates of your own existence is far superior to yours if you're living by the rules of the construct. If you are judging present circumstances based off present external stimuli. But if you're not given F about anything in this world but what you're trying to accomplish and trying to do, there is nothing the dungeon protocols can put in front of you because you don't care. You don't give them power. Remember, energy flows where attention goes. So if a phantasm of trouble begins to solidify in your future and you see the evidence that this is the picture that's about to unfold, but it hasn't happened yet, the very consideration that that's what's about to happen will create that phenomena. That barrier will solidify in your reality because you gave it attention. Your attention is the very energy the construct needed to bring to pass the very thing you feared. Therefore, not giving a F about anything absolutely prevents the construct from creating events and circumstances that will impede your move forward in whatever move forward that you're attempting to accomplish. The internal attitude is absolute power. It is also evidence to the construct that it has lost its control mechanisms governing your life. Those individuals are feared by the construct. Awakened individuals are not feared. They're excised. Someone who merely becomes awake is just no longer valuable to the construct. The simulacrum itself views every one of us as a resource. The dungeon programming collects millions, hundreds of millions of souls who are all expending energy into this field, and it uses that energy to build more worlds and to build worlds for the collective, divided into polarities, right and wrong, white and black, Republican and Democrat, nationalist and globalist. It creates these paradigms, and these people in turn employing a feedback, participating in a feedback loop, they energize the construct. It thrives on their beliefs. It thrives on the energy expenditure. This is not the Matrix. Your body is not in a pod and your brain feeding some AI system. It's not what's happening here. That version was just it was the best approximation those directors and authors could come up with to describe what is happening here. It is an AI system. Artificial intelligence X is governing over the construct. It is hijacked like a parasite. It is hijacked the construct and turned it into a predator versus prey ecosphere, something it was probably not originally designed to be. But the construct does not fear the awakened individuals. It merely cuts them off when it sees it cannot control. It's not going to expend a lot of energy trying to draw you back when it's obvious you have awakened. Remember, guys, once something is awake, it can no longer go back to sleep. Once you see something, you know it. So it's over with. The construct's not going to expend energy trying to draw you back. What it's going to do is let you go. You can build your own reality tunnel. You can build the perimeters of your own existence. You can be what you want to be inside the construct. And a lot of people who find out their true nature, they go off to be wealthy. They go off to be happy. They live these fantastic lives. They end up finding the perfect mate. They find everything they want in life. And that serves the construct too, because they have fallen into a comfort zone where they're not fighting the construct. That's not me. I'm not that individual. I consider myself alive. I consider myself awake. But I'm not going to be quiet. I'm not going to be silent. The construct has much to fear from me, but not just me, but from other individuals as well. Because when I come into contact with those I know who are asleep, but they're on the verge of waking up, those are the ones I want to I want to bring in. Those are the ones I want to help wake up. They're already almost there. They just need a little help. They need to be able to see what others see in order to understand that they're in a programming protocol, that they're living a template that belongs to something else, not to themselves. So I'm not going to be that. I'm going to be a pillar anywhere that I am. I'm going to be a lighthouse. I and those who are like me, and I know there are many, I am going to be a standard of example, because that is the only way true spirits learn. They do not learn by teaching. They do not learn by some weird guru charging hundreds of dollars to spiritually awaken you. That's not how the spirit awakens. That's just how you intellectually entertain people who think they're waking up. The true individual who wants to wake others up will do so by his attitude. And his attitude will forge his walk through life. And people will observe that, because behind the eyes of the individual is an immortal looking at another immortal. And that self-realization comes in. They realize, I'm no different than he. I can do what he has done. Once that takes place, the awakening begins, and that individual divorces themselves from the construct. When a matter becomes clear, it ceases to concern us. This is what we have to embrace. Those who have the don't give an F attitude and they move through this reality like a Viking unopposed, these are the ones the construct actually fears. There is no dungeon programming. There's no negative default programming that can corral this individual, only set this individual back temporarily, because this individual is still subject to the base emotions. It's still subject to the central nervous system. So it's locked into a prison, but inside that prison, it's virtually free to do what it wants, while all the prisoners are stuck on certain cell blocks, dungeon programming, the polarities they have accepted. So let me look at this chat section again. Oh, Karma Doc, how you doing? Faraday bags for the win. They are. You guys got to invest in them. I know this. EMP goes down. Aliens not, according to the Pentagon, if aliens knock out our infrastructure and the electricity's not working, or if the internet's down, I don't give a damn. I've got a generator that's going to work. It doesn't matter if the EMP goes down. Now, I might not have all the creature comforts of air conditioning and all that stuff, but I know what I do have. I've got something that's going to allow me to turn my laptop on, because I'm going to be able to pull it out after it's all over. And EMP's not going to have hurt my laptop at all. And I got these drives that have all these images and all that stuff. And I'm sorry if I can't reach out to the rest of the world. I didn't cause it to happen, but I know by virtue of the way I've prepared, which didn't even hardly cost any money, these little Faraday bags off of Amazon. And I'm not making any money for this, guys. You don't see any advertisements on my YouTube. My YouTube channel, Archaics, doesn't have any advertisements for any type of merchandise sold by anybody. You don't see that on my deal. So I'm not sitting here trying to push a product. I'm not. I'm just telling you what works, and I have tested it. The Faraday bags are real. They will protect your devices. They will protect your thumb drives, your terabyte drives, whatever you use. And if you get a small crank generator, or if you get the one I really like is the one with the cloth solar panels. It's on Amazon too. The cloth solar panels are awesome. You can hang them up wherever the sun's at, and it'll power your laptop. It'll power your whatever devices you're using, because you ain't got to worry about a phone. In the event an EMP goes out, it would take a long time for them to even repair the entire infrastructure by which cell phones operate. So, yeah, that's I'm gonna be able to read my old books. I'm gonna be able to get all my stuff done. And during that period of time, it might be a month, it might be 2 months, it might be 3 months before infrastructure starts coming back up. A new style of internet. I don't know. This is all conjectural. We just don't know. But they seem to be planning for a fall guy. For when something like this happens, they want to introduce a a culpable element, which is going to be the ETs. And for those of you who have been following the Galactic Federation, where are they at? Because they're supposed to be stopping this type of stuff, right? There's a whole bunch of drop ships and capital ships from the Galactic Federations, and for these fake Pleiadian, however you say it, these fake Pleiadian healers out there in communication with these Galactic Federation dropships. Where are you at? Where are you at? You would think if you were telling the truth, your channel would have millions of followers and people like that. But there's something wrong. Something wrong here. Something's going on, and it's just not true. It's we don't have a Galactic Federation coming to the rescue. We don't even have a Space Force coming through to the rescue, because Space Force isn't the space you think. That's not why that agency was created. So there is one thing I do want to mention. There's no reason to do a whole video on it because the subject matter of Archaix is going in a totally different direction. But I will say this about a new revelation I've had about OpenAI and ChatGPT-4 and all that. I subscribe monthly to ChatGPT-4 because I've been researching it. You guys know I've already done a video on ChatGPT-4, and I showed you guys that the sources that it cites were made up. They're fictitious. They don't exist. I've also shown that the OpenAI isn't near as objective as you think because it sticks to the narratives. Oh yeah. 100% it sticks to the narratives. It does not engage in any type of conspiracy thought or alternative history thought at all. It sticks to the narrative. This is troubling to me because we're not dealing with a true AI. I had a revelation the other day when I was messing with ChatGPT-4 and I was looking up stuff for the Great Wall of China. I don't like what passed through my mind. Equally so, I do not like the fact that this was like a splinter in my head all day long and it just needled me. When this happens to me, I pay attention because I got other things to do. I've got projects I'm working on. I got people, I have dialogues I need to follow through. I have emails to answer, and I have a lot of emails to get to. So I don't like that this is troubling me. My subconscious, my deeper inner being that's more connected to my immortal soul. It's telling me something. It's telling me to look. And I did. I went back to ChatGPT-4 and I ran several experiments and I'm looking at, and a new revelation dawned on me, guys. I understand what it is about OpenAI that the establishment is pushing this stuff so hard in giving everybody free versions and subscriber versions. I understand now. Two things are happening at the same time here. We're being conditioned to accept the OpenAI as something that is going to absolutely replace the search engines on the internet. At the same time, the search engines on the internet are being scrubbed. Now, I've already told you guys over and over and over, Google, Bing, all these search engines, listen, they used to provide way more examples of things you were looking for 5 and 10 years ago than they do today. Today, sponsored stuff comes up. Then all the establishment versions of stuff comes up. You got to scroll before you ever get to anything you're really looking for anymore. You're being bombarded with all the misinformation elements first before you can get to the good stuff. And then when you get to the good stuff, sometimes those websites glitch out. They're hard to log on to. They buffer it. Listen, guys, the internet is being scrubbed. There are many websites that no longer exist. Really awesome research, discovery, archaeology websites gone. So I see what's happening. I understand what ChatGPT-4, OpenAI, with what they're all doing now. In the near future, you're not going to have to Google anything. This is the great danger that's about to befall us, guys. They are preparing to switch over the search engines to an OpenAI system that does the research for you. You just ask the question. As soon as you ask the question, it provides everything. everything you need. And that's the version you have to accept because you're not given an alternative. The days of internet research will come to an end. You're not going to be able to go find all these gems because you're going to be able to choose which open AI system you want, not which search engine. And they are all going to be plugged into the same thing, providing basically different versions of the same data. This is terrible. This is an excellent way in just one fell swoop. They can totally not only rewrite the entire history of the world using false, absolutely terrible, false. They just make up sources. Guys, remember on my YouTube video, I showed you I am subscribed to JSTOR. JSTOR's peer-reviewed academic research papers, one of the best websites in the world for this material. And it cited that. So I went into JSTOR and I went and looked, and they don't exist. Not one source it cited existed. When I went deep onto the Phoenix research from the ancient past, and all these scholars that wrote all these papers did not exist. The people were real. The papers were not. OpenAI lied. So it has this capability to push the mainstream narratives, lie about resources. What's going to happen is we're going to have basically a replacement of the internet that you know today, where you can basically research things and put a picture together of what you think may have been true or not. But in the near future, that option will be taken from you, and it will be open AI search engines. And they don't do research. They answer questions. That's all they do. They don't do research. You have to ask questions and it produces answers. It's as simple as that. It's not conducive to real research. But you know what? When that happens, they're going to start hunting people like this. People like me got all this stuff. Yeah, guys. Yeah, they're not going to allow for things like this. The day is coming, guys. The day is coming. I'm prepared. Believe me, I'm prepared. Yeah, I stay 2 or 3 steps ahead of them boys. Believe that. They can come in here and confiscate all these books right here. It wouldn't matter to me. They're just books. I already got all the information PDF'd. I'm good. But anything ever happens to the Archaics library, all it's gonna do is create an Archaics virus that's gonna spread all over the world, and this information is gonna get passed because people are gonna realize, damn, here it is right here. And these thumb drives are gonna become things that are gonna be basically very well sought, basically in black market, underground. There's gonna come a time, guys, where knowledge is gonna be more precious than gold. Believe that. Oh, sorry about that glitching. I see it's a bad signal. Sorry about that. So, when a matter becomes clear, it ceases to concern us. When a soul is moving with such a forceful attitude that it can go everywhere in public, go anywhere it wants to, and not be opposed, and everything good happens, and no matter what that soul attempts to do, every conversation that soul engages in, there's a positive outcome. When somebody is vibrating on the frequency of being a true immortal, and a true immortal will never regard the construct as anything but programming. A true immortal will look around and understand that it is more real than anything it perceives. A true immortal will always know that it is more than anything that can happen to it. I'm saying it because when you're talking about immortals or celestials, we're no longer attached to gender. Gender applies not to the soul, but to the avatar. So, yeah, guys, it's serious. This is serious. Attitude is everything, guys. It's 100% everything. Yeah, I'm not hard even coughing anymore, guys. I think I'm done with that. It was bad for a while. It was bad for a while. Matt's traveling right now, preoccupied. Oh, somebody just asked about Jordan Maxwell. I do. Not sure. I've never seen your name before. Not sure. But I do read every chat message. And there are people that will vouch for that. I read every single chat message. I go through them. After the video's far over, it's all uploaded and the chat appears on YouTube. I'll go through those chat messages. Yeah. I do that all the time. I'm not trying to police it, but I often learn from you guys as well. I also see your temperament. I see where information is lacking, things, people need to absorb more data on this point here before we can move to the next point. I get that. I can read the chat narratives and basically ascertain where I need to go in future videos. An ozone machine for the library, huh? That's interesting. Yes, so guys, it's not a matter of are we more than we suppose ourselves to be? No, there's no question about it. We are more than we suppose ourselves to be. So much, in fact, that it took this entire construct to even cause us to doubt. And that's pretty powerful revelation there. But we agreed to this 100%. I don't believe a single person listening to my voice is a victim of circumstance. When the fact that you are existing in this construct. No, we agreed to this. Yeah, our present avatar and present situation could be better. No doubt. But what are you going to do about it? Because attitude is everything. And whatever you pay attention to, you empower. This is key. That's why you got to understand. Mainstream media can tell you all these different narratives, but to the individual who totally ignores those narratives do not control that person. But as soon as a carrot gets thrown out there and the individual pays a little bit of attention to that carrot, that individual is going to be following the narrative for which that carrot is being led. Yeah, guys, energy flows where attention goes. This is the great danger. What you focus in on, you lend your energy to. You cannot help being what you are. And this is our divine birthright, that no matter what we do in life, we are always, every day, every hour, and every minute creating. This is why we came into existence. And we're so powerful that we have created the very conditions that govern our own lives. We're creators, we're co-creators. And the construct accepts that and it uses that to its advantage, because we're always creating the very things we do not want to experience. And we do it to ourselves over and over and over. But once you realize that it doesn't have to be that way, and that you can just adopt a don't give an F attitude about anything in the world that is supposed to be troubling to you, and you just move forward and be who you want to be, where you want to be, and interact and engage with others when you want to do that, don't give a damn about opposition. When you truly adopt that attitude, your creative power is then honed in on the very things that you want to happen. And none of it is being borrowed by the construct to give license and solidify the things that you worry about, things that don't want to happen. You've got to develop that attitude, because that attitude is the signature of immortality. Because if you do give a damn about any of the wickedness and evil that goes on around in the world, then by default, you become a participant. And you can say all day long that, hey, I didn't do that. I'm not the one that caused all that to happen. But if that's all you've been fixated on and you've been reading about it and watching movies about it, and this is, you participated, you have lent energy to that phenomenon to allow the construct to perpetuate and continue that dungeon programming and that oppression over what it is you're fixated about. Yeah, guys, we have an opposite effect in reality to the things that we think we do. We think we are helping by trying to save the world. Yeah, you're not helping the individuals that need help. No, every immortal here can help themselves. But when you lend so much of your attention and that energy is fixed with, well, I need to do all this for those people because they can't do it for themselves, you have basically informed the construct that it can borrow some of your immortal energy to make sure that those people cannot take care of themselves. Yeah, you do just the opposite of what you profess to admire. It's not what you want, but this is a construct where almost everything is the exact opposite of what it should be. And we see evidence of this all the time. Look at the morons who rule us. We were supposed to have voted them in. Go through all 50 states of the United States, go through all the elected positions, the Senate, House, Congress, even the president, the vice president. Look at them. They're all buffoons. They're all absolute clowns. There's no way any of these people should be ruling any body of intelligent people. But this is where we're at. This is what happened. It's not just that. It's all over the world. It's all over the world that those that we consider the elite are actually the most intellectually and emotionally vacuous individuals in the world. Why? Why is this? It's because the construct uses these spiritually vacant people the best. It has more control over these, so it elevates them to positions of power. It's so easy for it to do that because these people are empty, scraped out, and hollow. They're so lost. You're not going to find a spiritually awakened individual in politics at all. That's not why they're there. So anyway, when a matter becomes clear, it ceases to concern us. To me, Morpheus laughing. I'm going to answer that. I'm going to answer this. But when a matter becomes clear, it ceases to concern us. The matter that should be clear to you is that you're a divine immortal. And what ceases to concern you is that your immortal status can be touched in any way by an external construct. There's nothing in outside external reality that should matter to you. You should forge ahead in all things. Look at me. I don't give a damn about these stupid, insignificant little troll channels. They only listen to each other. They're dumb. All they're doing the exact opposite of what they intend to do. This is what troll channels do. This is why Barnum and Bailey was so right when he said it doesn't matter what they say about you, as long as they spell your name right. Man, Barnum and Bailey knew the secret. He understood. This is why with the troll channels, I am live. Sometimes I egg them on. Sometimes I encourage them. The troll channels hate me. And they make it so obvious they do. But this hate is energy. It's just energy. And the energy is directed at me. But it has the exact opposite effect because that energy is laced with the idea from these individuals that Jason of Archaix is successful. I hate him. Jason of Archaix has a lot of people listening to him. I hate him. Jason of Archaix is doing everything I want to do with a successful YouTube channel and social media presence. I hate him. And all they're doing is sending me energy, bringing me more subs, opening more awareness up to the public of Jason and Archaix, and personally empowering my own immortal self to not give an F. Because they're helping me when they actually think they're harming me. Just like you, when you think that it's your spiritual duty to save the world, it's because you believe the world is real. And when you think you're here to save the world, you expend your energy, which is divine, it's creative, it can be used to build your world better, which by extension helps others. But instead, you focus on saving the world, and you send so much energy. But the energy that you broadcast to save the world is imprinted with the knowledge that something in the world needs to be saved. It is in this condition and requires your assistance. That alone is programming that you sent out, and the construct loves it. And it takes that energy and it oppresses that group even more. Everything here is the exact opposite of what we think. The true, you understand, when a matter becomes clear, it ceases to concern us. What should be clear to you is that as a highly individualized immortal spark from a divine fire, the oversoul, you are here to create a better world for yourself, because in doing that, you embark on the co-creator relationship, and the co-creator relationship creates a feedback loop that begins to introduce more good into the construct, because you're focused. You're focused on your immortalhood and the relationship you have, not with the construct, but with the oversoul. And when you focus on that, it lends you more power. You grow, you affect more other souls in the construct. You begin shining like that lighthouse. And all these other souls that are on ships going in different directions begin to change, and they begin to steer closer. They begin to gravitate towards you because they see you're the light in the darkness, and they see there's knowledge in that light, and that the rest of the construct has nothing but darkness. So they move away from it. These are the individuals I'm searching for. I don't care if you're awake. I'm searching for the individuals who have that inner knowing, and they know that no matter what's going to happen in the next 2 decades, they themselves can build a world for themselves that is so insular. It is so fortified and so well protected that it will even act as a sanctuary for those awakened individuals who haven't reached that plateau of spirituality yet. I'm not asking for the entire awakened community to participate, because I don't think you can. I'm asking for those individuals to do some self-analysis. You know that spark is in you. You know and resonate with the truth. When a matter becomes clear, it ceases to concern you. What should be clear to you is that you've already been awake for a long time, and now it's time to start building your own world inside the construct. Because when you do, when you offer this Eden, when you offer this walled enclosure of spiritual protection, the people will come. And sometimes it's going to be those that you would never suspect. Yeah, sometimes the quietest individuals around you are the greatest co-creators in our existence. It's not always the most vocal. So that's what this video was about. This video was about those few out there. I know you're out there. You may number in the thousands, but I know you're out there. You are the ones destined to be the pillars in the future. everything revolves around the pillar. The pillar is the one that leads by example. The pillar is the one that other awakened individuals can lean on when they go through their inner storms of doubt, when they begin to falter. It doesn't mean they're not awake. It just means the construct still has those tendrils wrapped in some aspect of their psyche. So I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation. I'm not going to draw it out any further than this. I do have company going to arrive any minute now. Archaics.tv will be live today. And I will post it in YouTube. I think it will be posted in Discord and maybe Facebook and other places as well. I hope to see you guys there. It's just things that can't be discussed on YouTube. My YouTube family will never miss out. I still have all these fascinating historical, prophetic, eschatological, theoretical, and chronological presentations. I'll never stop, and I'll never stop the pace either. You guys know sometimes I'm rapid firing videos and other times they're 3 or 4 days apart. So when a matter becomes clear, it ceases to concern you. If you're truly confident in who you are, then the matter has become clear. And nothing should concern you about the construct. You move forward, become what you want to be. If you want to disagree, that's fine too. I invite you to go ahead and try to save the world. And I promise you, you're going to see the signs in your own life that are debilitating, that are going to set you back. You're going to go through some emotional trauma. You're going to go through all kinds of things that are not going to go right for you. And there's a reason for this. It's because in trying to save the world, you actually empowered the construct to harm others. It's what you did. And it's a feedback loop because what you do for others automatically happens to you as well. This is a very difficult concept to embrace. I get it. But when a matter becomes clear like it has for me, nothing concerns me anymore. I know exactly what I'm doing, where I'm going, and I'm only wondering how many are going with me. That's it for now, guys. I love you. I'm gonna hit this little present deal. I'm still experimenting with all this. Don't really know what's going on, but I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it.